Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us at our virtual Sunday school. Today, we're going to be talking about day 13 of our Jesse tree ornaments, and that's the story of King David. Father Marshall, can you tell us the story of King David?
Yes, I can. But before I can talk about David, I have to talk about shepherds. Is that okay?
It's okay.
Okay. So shepherds are really interesting in Hebrew scripture. They were not a high class profession. It was the usually the youngest and the smallest. It was the expendable child that was given the job to be the shepherd because it was very dangerous. Their job was to protect the flock from predators and raiders and bandits. The downside to that is that they really weren't given a lot of tools to do that with. They had basically a stick. They might have a stone and a sling, but that's about it. And they had to be tough and resilient. And also, they had to go where the sheep went and they had to be with the sheep. So they went to places normal human beings didn't find very comfortable. And they were out in weather normal people didn't really like. So they were pretty rough and ready. And actually, one of the ways that David is described in earlier scripture depictions is he was ruddy, meaning he was very sunburned and weathered, and he had rough feet, and he was very strong and lithe because he had to be quick and sure. And he was very courageous because you have a stick and you have to go up against a wild dog or a mountain lion or even a bear to try to drive them off of the flock and preserve the sheep who weren't really that bright to begin with, and make sure that they were kept safe. So oftentimes David is described as the shepherd of his people Israel. And in fact, if you think about it, that's great training to be a king. But the other thing that David was really good at, he was very good at singing. So he was like the Bruce Springsteen of the ancient Hebrew world. That he was a very good songwriter. And in fact, we still sing some of his songs today, like Psalm 23 or 22. He is remembered as someone who would sing and dance before God as if no one was watching or no one was listening other than God. And so that is also something we remember. And he was such a good singer, actually, that his first job among people was to sing to the king Saul, who would get very upset and very anxious and very angry. And the only thing that would calm him down was when David would come to him with his harp and sing. And so we remember David from his early days with this harp and a shepherd's crook. You can see that.
I drew the sheep and the shepherd's crook since he was a shepherd.
Yep.
And my sheep looks like he has tap shoes on.
Well, David was a good dancer, so maybe that was how he learned.
He was an all-around entertainer.
That's right. All right.
So thank you all for joining us to hear the story about King David. And tune in tomorrow when we talk about day 14, and it's the story of Solomon.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.